Hey there, welcome back to High Infidelity, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to channel for more spicy stories. Now, let's get into today's story video.
She 33 female, cheated, I 32 male, left, but she's not letting go. Basically, like the title says, but first, let me explain the situation a little more. Okay. Vanessa, my ex-girlfriend, and I have been together for the last 5 years. While attending a conference for one of our shared hobbies, we struck up a casual conversation on the activity itself, with no specific aims in mind. We started dating when she revealed that she liked me as more than simply a friend, and the feeling was mutual on both sides. My response was simple. I didn't say anything since I didn't want to end the connection, and I didn't believe she would be interested in me. We had been dating for almost 2 years before deciding to move in together. Our families got along well, our friends got along well, and we all developed a large mixed social circle as a result of this. That astonished me since we came from such disparate socioeconomic backgrounds, with me having grown up in impoverished/middle class circumstances and Vanessa and her friends and family having grown up in affluent circumstances. Everything had been going well for her for the previous 3 years until she decided to cheat on her husband. Vanessa cheated on me with some random guy, and I have no idea why she did it, nor do I want to find out why she did it. I found out about a month ago when I borrowed her phone to call a friend since mine was broken at the time. I was shocked. When I unlocked her phone, the first thing I saw was a message from a guy who had loved that bouncing on him the day before. That was the first thing I noticed when I opened her phone. I'll save you the emotional torture that I went through. And I'll admit, I just put the phone down and informed her I was going without explaining why, and I could see she was bewildered by my quick departure, which I understood. I just did not want to do something that I would later come to regret, especially because I have had anger issues in the past, which I have mostly resolved. She most likely discovered that I had seen the message, but since my phone was still in the flat, she had no way to get in touch with me. It took me hours of walking about the city before I was fatigued enough to want to fall asleep while still on my feet. In the evening, I went over to a friend's home and slept with them all night before returning to our apartment the following morning and working things out with Vanessa. This was the end of my connection with her since I told her I wouldn't be in a relationship with a cheater. I didn't care about how it happened or who the other person was. All I wanted was to go away from it all and forget about it. No, she wasn't trying to win my approval. She was sobbing hysterically, blaming her own actions, punching herself in the head because she was, quote, a silly cheating C*NT, begging me not to go, and promising to do anything she could to make things right. Because of the whole incident, I felt even more uncomfortable with her, and when our neighbors came out to see what was going on, there was quite a commotion in front of our apartment building. I was successful in escaping, despite the fact that the situation was made exceedingly complicated by theatrics. The choice was made by her to someone else, and I made the decision to quit the relationship because I didn't want to stay with someone who was cheating on me. My stuff were allowed to be removed from the apartment when she was not around, and I figured that was the end of it. But that was not the case. In any event, if it were the case, I would not be present at this time. As I already said, Vanessa and her family are quite rich. She is now squandering her money, as well as that of her family, by failing to provide me with even a single day of any type of recollection of her. The most of the time, I'm either having items delivered to my workplace or getting letters and packages via the mail, or she just hangs out with one of her pals wherever she knows I'm going to be. I have no idea how she knows, and this is making me uneasy because I keep getting the impression that she has someone following me, attempting to coerce me into talking to her or something. While attempting a conversation with the local police department about the problem, I was informed in no uncertain terms that her family would see that nothing was done about it. The police should be commended for being truthful, but they should be allowed to carry out their duties instead. I aspire to be a better person. I'm ready to take the next step. My wife, however, would not allow it, and I do not have the financial means to go elsewhere. She's already banned or ignored me on every social media platform conceivable, but oddly, she's not making any effort to contact me via any of them. Friends, on the other hand, are there for you. Everyone she has a friend with, and she has a lot of friends, has asked me to meet up with her, listen to her out, or anything along those lines. However, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm fed up with all of this. I just want it to be done with now. I don't want to hear anything she has to say. I'm not interested in going to see her at all. It's not going to be of any assistance to me. So may someone here please be of assistance to me? So how can I break away from someone who won't let me go and who has the time and resources to continue doing so in perpetuity? Is it okay for me to provide her the one meeting she has requested? Is it even going to be of any assistance? Because I am not a citizen of the United States or any other first world country, I have limited legal choices. Update. There was a great deal of advice and support in the thread for the dreadful situation I was in, and I want to express my gratitude to you all for trying your best to get me out of it. Last but not least, I planned a meeting with my ex-mother, husbands whom I mentioned in one of my posts when I was replying to people's questions about the whole situation. The time had passed since my previous post, which was around a week ago. She understood why we had broken up and was completely supportive of my decision to end my relationship with her daughter, despite the fact that she knew how much it had affected me. It meant a great deal to me, and I'm not sure I appreciated how kind her mother was to me until we were together again. I told her everything that had transpired since the breakup. She just knew that the ex was seeking to get back together with me, but she was unaware of her showing up at every place I went out, her friends badgering me, or the letters and gifts that were frequently arriving in the mail for me. The fact that she was so supportive of me at the time made me want to weep. At one point, she even held me and kissed the top of my child's head, as if I were a little child again, made me want to cry. I felt embarrassed and grateful at the same time. I just needed some space and time to heal from this ordeal, and I think she understood what I was trying to do. Overall, she assured me that once we got everything out in the open, she would get her daughter back in line, leave me alone, and stop pestering me. We spoke a little more after that, but eventually parted ways. The ex's pestering persisted for a day or two before ceasing totally. There were no messages, phone calls, or surprising visits where I was hanging out. So far, she hasn't responded after 3 weeks. It's been wonderful. It's as if a tremendous weight has been lifted off my shoulders. It's easier to breathe, and I'm not even glancing at the door of anywhere I'm hanging out to see if it's the ex or one of her pals. My buddies were the ones who brought it up to me since I hadn't noticed it myself. So sure, it's 1,000 times better than it was before. I called my ex's mother one more time and thanked her for whatever she done for her daughter, and she said it was the least she could do. Near the conclusion of the discussion, she added that it would probably be best if we didn't talk again, since it would allow me to properly recover from everything. But she was sorry it had come to this, and that her and her husband wouldn't see me coming over for Christmas. We said our goodbyes, and that was the end of it. So that's it, the harassment is over, I'm feeling terrific, and things are looking up in my life. Thank you all again for attempting to get me out of the quagmire in which I found myself.